Welcome. Here we are for the Midwest Premodern Championship here at Misty Mountain Games, benefiting Briarpatch Youth Services. I'm Brian Kowal. I'm here with Michael Heup, and we're here for round one. Action already with a couple locals.
Yeah. Some that I think a lot of people will be familiar with. And
Yeah.
some that, I guess if you tune into the stream, I think Blake's been on camera maybe almost every time.
Yeah,
So.
I feel like he gets on here every time, but he's a consistent performer at our events, and we love having him. And of course, Caleb, it needs no introduction.
Yep. So players are just going to get the go-ahead, and I think they're going to be starting right away since they're ready, and I think everybody else is ready.
Mm-hmm. Blake usually battling for the greater good, but today he's going to be on blue-red Tron. Caleb's got a pretty sweet brew here with blue-white Tron. I said blue-red Tron, didn't I? I meant blue-red Tinker. All right, and he's going to start out with a Skycloud Egg off a Urza's Power Plant. 2 cards I don't think I've ever seen played in a pre-modern tournament.
Yeah, I'm not. I've actually played against Caleb, I think, when he had been practicing this deck a while ago. But yeah, these are not commonly played cards. So we'll see how Caleb does with kind of his twist on a pretty classic archetype, but like the Tron lands might give him some real power.
Yeah. Blake's opening them with a Mox Diamond, discarding City of Traitors and Ancient Tomb, and it's just going to pass the turn not doing anything here. Going to Caleb. He's going to play Urza's Tower, Part 2.
Yeah, we'll have to... Too bad we don't have like a little button like Tron Online. Like,
yeah.
So what are the big things that you can do once you have Tron? I think it might just be kind of the... I think it's just Decree of Justice. I think he's also got like Stroke of Genius.
The feature of Caleb's deck is he plays 4 Stroke of Genius and 4 Decree of Justice. So either of those should be pretty amazing to see.
One thing I think, if Caleb were to play like the Mirror, as long as he's like avoiding Dust Bowls, then he's got to have a huge advantage in the Mirror, just having a ton of mana. So
yeah, he definitely out of nowhere out mana the Mirror. I think Caleb, that looks like a Roshan port into a Tangle Wire. That's gonna tap all Caleb's stuff down for a little bit. Give Blake some breathing room to try to put everything together. But Caleb is natural troning with the Urza Mine and a Chromatic Sphere. So he's gonna have some mana on the old upkeep next turn.
Yeah, the Skycloud Egg is there to help him cast the spells, but it's kind of a nice little buffer for Tangle Wire.
Yeah, it's helping him up.
Yeah, I'll tap this down, and then maybe I'll use it a little bit later. I'll be able to cast some more spells. But
the Sphere and the Egg are going to do that for him. And if he has an upkeep Decree, he's not going to be worried about Tangle Wire for very long.
Yeah.
All right, Blake's got a City of Traitors. He's got 4 mana coming in on his 3rd turn. You're tapping Caleb out. He's going to pay 2 life and drop a Masticore into play. A nice anti-token card.
Yeah, I mean, like also just 4/4 is like pretty big, and like if you're able to connect a few times, I mean, Caleb's likely to have something like a Swords of Plowshares, but
he is upkeep rolling out, stacking that Chromatic Sphere. Now he's gonna go to 7 mana, and
we do the Decree.
We're gonna see a Decree. So should be for 5.
It was kind of an interesting fight. It looks like 4. Because we got the Masticore shooting down the tokens first.
He's supposed to tap something though, right?
Oh,
it would only be for 4. You're right. I don't think Caleb resolved Tangle Wire.
Okay, I'll go check.
Yeah. So let's get that fixed. Doesn't matter too much because he's plowing the Masticore. Well, he did cycle the Decree so he can tap his tokens. So he doesn't even need to tap the Egg.
Yeah, those summoning sick, those tokens, they're not attacking, so make sure they're tapped. All right, so he gained 4 from the swords.
Yep.
And Caleb had to take 1.
Back up to 20. A couple more Ancient Tomb activations for Blake.
3 mana.
3 mana. Blake's gonna get more. Who's got more mana now, chat? It's kind of amazing how much mana both these decks are putting out into play
in a short amount of time. Yeah,
we're on turn 4, and Caleb has 8 mana, and Blake has 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana with the City of Traitors in his hand.
Yep. Oh yeah. Let's go.
All right, Caleb will untap, tap a couple soldiers down, pay the iron price there. Send in for 2, knock Blake down to 16. Blake's gonna factor fiction.
He's gonna attempt to factor fiction. He's definitely respecting counter magic from the way he's kind of just holding it out here. Can I have this?
How sick would it be if Caleb just like responds with a giant stroke of genius?
I think it looked like he had one in his hand.
I did see one in his hand. Yeah.
Yeah, I do think one of the counter spells of Caleb's choice is miscalculation. A lot of times we do see mana leak in the deck, so miscalc is not as strong at countering spells, but having that option to cycle when it's dead is nice. A good use of a Tron land.
Yeah. I'm so glad Caleb played this deck because he's been messing around with it for a while and hasn't pulled the trigger on bringing it to an event. I've always thought it does some really fun, cool stuff. Also, who doesn't love Tron? You know, it's kind of the most loved combination in Magic. You know, put 3 lands into play and make 7 mana.
I'll say different format people might say something different. I mean, but it's kind of funny. Yeah, in Premodern, it does kind of feel like the good guy.
All right, we're gonna Stroke of Genius. Looks like for 4. Just an expensive opportunity, 7 mana and 6. All right. What did he pay the 3 mana? Oh, he got ported. All right, sending in the soldiers. Gonna knock Blake down to 13. Let's follow up with 2 spheres. And pass turn. Let's see what Blake's got. Just drew a Tinker. So that's always exciting with this deck. As long as it resolves. Drop a second Ancient Tomb. Blake is at 13, by the way.
All right, let's get that updated. How many cards does Blake have?
I think he has 3.
Okay.
But he just draw a Tinker. So
that is a good one to resolve if you can.
He's gonna tinker the useless Tangle Wire. It's going to get prohibited with a kicker.
Okay.
Caleb in the driver's seat now.
Yeah, Tinker is probably like one of the scariest cards from Caleb's perspective of being able to resolve. Because I think actually there's not too many spells that he has to worry about, and Tinker is definitely one of them.
Because who knows what's going to happen? Tinker resolves. Caleb with the conservative Stroke of Genius for only 6. Still keeping 3 up. All right, you got to play another tower.
And the tokens get in there.
Not going well for Blake.
All right, discarding the hand size.
Yep.
That's where we're at.
Always a good sign against the control deck when they have too many cards and are even
discarding lands.
Discarding things like Source of Plowshares, which are gonna affect things.
Yeah, Blake might just be hoping to get a little bit more information out of Caleb's deck, but I don't think he's going to get too much more.
Yeah, and I like going that way with Blake.
Well, I mean, it's always something interesting, like when you play against a deck that is kind of rogue, is to say, okay, like now we find out there's a disenchant in the main. I mean, it's not surprising, but it's like some things, little bits of information that you can kind of, because I don't know, it's kind of intimidating when you play against a list that, I mean, a lot of times when I play Premodern, I almost know exactly what my opponent's playing.
Yeah.
And like when it's like, well, they could be playing anything. What cards am I supposed to play around?
Right, totally. When they're playing something rogue, you just want to get all the info you can. I know when I build a lot of brews, it's kind of like, man, why this guy freaking seed? I'm so far ahead here.
Do players, because you're one to build a lot of rogue decks, do people ever talk about that? Be like, well, I just wasn't sure exactly what you had, or like, I thought you might have had this. Is that something that you kind of talk about a lot?
The thing I more often hear is, well, I got no idea how to sideboard here.
Yeah.
that's such a check mark when you're playing rogue.
Yeah. Is this an upkeep frantic search?
Yes.
So this will generate mana and then now allow us to, are we tapping to, well, we're not tapping to Tangle Wire yet. More Decree, some tokens to tap. All right.
I think you might have been casting some angels.
Yeah, I don't know if we were the upkeep or if we were in the main phase, but either way, well, Blake has seen it now.
Caleb showed us how his deck works.
Yes.
You know, you draw out the 3 Tron pieces and you play a whole bunch of disgustingly huge card advantage cards.
Well, I know one of the things, like when I looked at Tron, and it was probably a year or two ago, but there were just so many wastelands running around in the format that it felt like so miserable
too. Yeah, it's like
it felt so miserable and like I feel like a lot of people with Parfait and the Stifle Knot lists, Wasteland just isn't a card that has a lot. Like it's not very good.
Way down.
Yeah. And so this might just be the time that you say, okay, like I'll sleeve up my Tron lands and try and go big.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it opens the lane for that, and Caleb taking advantage of it. Blake even has some anti-Lanza. He has the ports, you know, Tangle Wires to slow him down. It's hard to slow down natural Tron.
Yeah. I'm trying to think like what blue-red usually has against like a slower deck or like a control deck. Nothing's jumping out that I would usually have in the sideboard. I mean, red elemental blast is probably the only one.
Play sphere resistance.
Okay. Yeah, some do have like a full complement of those, and that wouldn't be a bad strategy to kind of do like.
Winter Orb's a big one, right?
I mean, is it?
That works.
I mean,
usually
it's kind of awkward against Tron lands though. Like
it is
untapping one land that makes 3 mana or something.
They're not supposed to also have lands that tap for 2 or even more mana.
Yeah.
Half dead, half dead.
People are talking about sleeving up Panza
right.
to Tron.
Yeah, if we just make Stone Rain good again, people. Yeah. That's all I want.
We're getting a deck list. So
Caleb's deck list. Should we reveal it or should we
that's up to you.
Keep it a secret? Okay, well he's got
I don't think you could say that, I mean like and then say no. Like I think chat would be kind of mad at you.
Tronza. All right, here's Caleb's deck list. Get a pen out. And don't send it to your friend playing in the tournament. 2 Masticore, 4 Impulse, 1 Powder Keg, 2 Skycloud Egg, 1 Mana Leak, 3 Miscalculation. I just got to pause, and we were like really having a good chuckle about the miscalc with 1 Mana Leak, and like, like yeah, they see the miscalc and they're gonna play around.
And then you get him with the
Mana Leak. 2 Prohibit, 2 Wrath of God, 4 Chromatic Sphere, 4 Stroke of Genius, 4 Decree of Justice. Kind of the centerpiece of the deck, really. 4 Source of Plowshares, 1 Disenchant, 2 Frantic Search. It's got about 24 lands. I won't read them all off to you, but let me tell you what 12 of them are.
Yeah.
Can't guess. The Tron. Then we'll keep the sideboard under wraps.
Okay.
No spoilers on that part. All right, they're all shuffled up for game 2.
I mean, if Caleb can keep like the key spells away from Blake, like from resolving, then I think he definitely has the advantage in the long game.
What about Black Vice in this matchup for the Tinker deck? Might be a good way to go.
Yeah, that could be something. I mean, that's one of the vulnerabilities of the blue-white decks. Like, you can stroke a genius for 7 if I have a Black Vice in play.
Smokestack could be key. I see Eternal Advice here coming from Blake.
Okay, so that is an option. Will that be enough? I guess the one nice thing that Caleb has, if he has like those eggs and those spheres, like that's a way to kind of really slow down a Vice draw.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times when you're playing the blue-white decks, it's really those initial turns that you're just going land go, that you're taking just three a turn.
Right. He only has 2 sphere resistance on his board.
Okay.
Might not be it. I mean, he does have defense grid too.
That's likely a card that
Pretty
is
cool.
is coming in.
All right. Looks like he might only have 1 land in his hand. Maybe 2. I see a Winter Orb.
I see a
and
Karn, I think a Tangle Wire, and a Phyrexian Furnace.
Mm-hmm. I don't think the Furnace does a whole lot in this matchup.
No, it might just be... I'm trying to think if there's cards that he's cutting, if he's just thinking that it's just another permanent.
Yeah. Looks like he's got a couple of hands.
All right, so Blake, I think he put 1 on the bottom. And that was the Furnace, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So he's just going to lead with Ancient too.
He's got a Tinker here, so he could get things rolling right off the bat if he wants. Mox Diamond Tinker.
All right, he's going to go for
Get a Tangle Wire.
the Tangle Wire here. Okay. Interesting, because like from his follow-up to this is he's just going to skip his next turn. Yeah.
Caleb's stuck on 1 land, it looks like.
Well, I mean, under a Tangle Wire, this is not a bad spot to miss your land drop if both players are just draw going. This might play into Caleb's hand, but
Yeah.
I mean, Blake's follow-up will be, so he has Winter Orb, which is awesome with Port, but what he really needs is like a Mind Stone or a Thran Dynamo, and then it's like really potent. Because beyond that, if it just lands in play, then if you're not hitting a land drop every turn, then it's kind of like, okay, it's really awkward to spend 2 mana to tap 1 under a Winter Orb.
For sure. With Blake's start, I was actually thinking, like, I was wondering if you might tinker for Dynamo off the bat, just to get a big mana advantage.
Okay, so the Mox Diamond's played and is going to discard the City of Traitors.
Picked up a Pyroblast in his hand.
So did he not go for a Winter Orb there? I mean, he had the Mox.
didn't.
I would have liked Winter Orb right there, and then
I think,
you have the
Yeah.
Mox Diamond and the Rishan Port.
yeah, because he didn't tap anything anyway, you know? Caleb gonna sack the egg during his upkeep.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to use that mana
He's
anyways.
gonna disenchant.
Okay.
He's gonna use the mana anyway. With a disenchant. That surprised me too. Hey, add the tower. Just needs the power plant to energize this mana base.
You would have the what? Is it 10 mana? The tower sap for 3, 6 plus 2 plus 2.
Yeah.
All right, now we're going for Winter Orb, but now we're at the spot where we don't have that Mox Diamond to make it easy.
Right.
Still gonna slow things down for Caleb, but
Yeah, he only has 2 lands, so it's not gonna be worst. Okay. 3 towers.
Ooh, going for a powder keg.
I feel like Blake often draws these like big matches early. You know. Now he's picked a Vice.
Interesting. Like, would you kind of wait for maybe powder keg to tick up? Like, is Black Vice more important than Winter Orb here or no?
I don't think so. I think Winter Orb is more important than Keg, and I think Blake's gonna give Caleb credit for knowing that. I mean, or like he's happy to lose his Vice to it, you know.
Yep. All right, Tangle Wire down.
Oh, that's a big one. Crosis' Catacombs just added to the hand. So that's going to turn Tinker on for him.
Oh, Zare, you can say that sarcastically.
What?
It's just funny. Like, I don't know how many people have ever said that. Like, Crosis has Catacombs, yeah.
I mean, it fixes all of that. He's got blue and red spells in his hand. I love Crosis Catacombs in this deck.
I like
played
it.
Like 4, I think.
I like it in a lot of the decks. Like, it's just...
Rebuying your City of Traitors, always so good.
Yeah, there's a lot of cute interactions, or just if you're under a Winter Orb, or yeah.
Also, just one of the more stress-free fixers in the format. Yep. Tinker, not a deck that worries about having all its lands in the play all the time either.
All right, we're going for Factor Friction here. Well, Caleb is tapped out. I guess
Like it.
Caleb still does not have a consistent source of colored mana.
All right, we're going to see a Mind Stone, another Catacombs, another Foff, a Triskelion, and something. They're not doing us any favors here.
I mean, the Mind Stone I think is a pretty key play. Well, I guess the Powder Keg is going to answer the Winter Orb, so you're not going to have that lock of Mind Stone, Winter Orb, and Rishon Import.
Oh, it's a port.
So which pile did we get? Triskelion,
port, and Mind Stone, was it?
No, Mind Stone I think was in the other pile.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Foff and Mind Stone.
All right, so Powder Keg is getting rid of the Black Vice, so the Winter Orb is going to stay in play.
Yeah, maybe Caleb just thinks he's honestly dying to his Black Face if he doesn't deal with it. Also, might just be playing to his outs. You know, if he can, he has outs of 4 power plants. You know, if he hits one, he's in a better position than his opponent with this Winter Orb in play.
All right, port's here.
Also, Caleb just kind of stuck, wants to buy time, like doesn't want to lose all that life. And the orb might slow Blake down even.
Yeah, and you can usually also do that if both players don't check in. So that doesn't happen.
Okay, so yes, Gabe, Blake was on camera. He was playing a Greater Good deck. I think he's been on multiple of the events that we streamed. He's usually on the Greater Good, but here he's switching. So is he one that comes to the store and plays somewhat often?
Yeah, he's a Misty regular. He comes to lots of our events. He plays all the formats too here. He, modern, pioneer, standard, everything but commander. Pretty much any 60 card format he's usually game for.
All right, we got a Goblin Welder, which if Caleb is spending like resources like Powder Keg to get rid of a Black Vice, then any artifact Blake could just switch and get that back if that's the problematic card. Or
Yeah.
I mean, it could be Tangle Wires. Okay, Source Bosher's here.
Yeah.
Not
It's a really big pickup for Blake. Unfortunately, Caleb finally got to a white source and was able to follow it.
On my way.
We're going to see nothing from Blake. He's just passing it. He has another Foff. Do you like waiting with Factor Fiction here?
I think I would just fire it off if I know it's
Yeah.
if I'm not against any blue mana.
Yes, I think especially with the Tinker deck too. Like
I mean, you could do it during upkeep, so you don't have to discard.
That's
is
true.
that what we're seeing, or is this an?
I think it might be an upkeep. This deck's just so explosive that I guess I think like there's a very good chance I'm gonna have a number of plays after my factor fiction.
Okay, so there's 2 Thran Dynamos. It's a Thran Dynamo. It was a Altar of Dementia, and I think a City of Traitors.
I believe so.
So Altar of Dementia is usually in this deck because it plays 1 copy of the Devourer. So it has, I mean, it might depend on the list. There's a lot of flexibility, but you usually have like 1 Altar, 1 Devourer, and then you can just kind of combo kill if you draw 1 piece and then just bring out the other and just kill someone out of nowhere.
It's kind of a sweet setup because like it takes up such little space in your deck.
Yep.
And it's just like, well, maybe at some point this will happen. A lot of times, like it can come out of nowhere very quickly, or you can be playing against this deck and stop thinking about it for a long time, and then they draw their 1 altar and kill you. Blake's gonna play his Thran Dynamo. Drop that altar into play. Caleb disenchanting the Winter Orb.
All right, so now we're unlocking all the mana for Caleb.
Out of danger now.
Is this? Are we decreeing? Are we making ancient? Oh no, we're just cycling.
Just cycling. Oh, there's the power plant. Caleb now has 17 mana in play.
Does he have another decree?
The downside is he tapped his white, so he is opening himself up to just getting comboed out at this Altar of Dementia out the Tinker.
Yeah, that's might be what we're seeing.
I think it's
fairly
likely we're going to see a win here from Blake.
All right, so let's talk about what's happening here. So the Phyrexian Devourer, I'll bring that up. Do you want to explain what the sequence is here?
Yeah, so the combo is Phyrexian Devourer can exile cards on top of Blake's deck, and every time it does, it's +1/+1 counters equals casting cost. Now the Devourer will kill itself if its power is 7 or greater. But the way the stack works nowadays, you can just keep doing it on top of that trigger and make as big of a Devourer as you want. And in this case, Blake is using that gigantic Devourer to sacrifice it to Altar of Dementia and deck Caleb for all his cards.
Never actually used this thing before, so where do I go for?
All right, so Blake has equalized. We're going into game 3. Do you think, like, are the Cyborg games like really different from Blake's perspective, or do you think it's just kind of the same game plan?
I think. I kind of feel like Blake's a little more of the beatdown now, but I guess he always was.
I mean, I almost feel like the Cyborg games get better for Caleb because I'm guessing he has. Caleb probably has cards like Annul or more Disenchants, and so it just.
I mean, yeah, anytime you play a deck like Blue Red Tinker, or like a deck that depends on a single type of permanent, like a lot of times you get a lot of percentage in game 1 because nobody can play enough anti-artifact deck cards main deck to deal. So afterboard, it's always a little rougher. It's always a lot rougher with these decks. Yeah, Caleb bringing in 1, 2, 3 disenchant effects, more counter magic, which is probably pretty decent here, and Fairy's Response, which is going to could be super critical against the boards.
Oh yeah, that'd be a good one.
Yeah, this card is really coming into style lately.
Yeah,
a lot of blue-white Landstill players playing it.
Yeah, I mostly think about it like protecting a Mishra's Factory when it's attacking, but yeah, against a Rishon import, that's definitely...
That's the classic use of it, right?
That's the flashback to the standard days.
Blake has that Rishon import opening, so let's see if Caleb can find it to very responsive.
I do see a Meddling Mage in Caleb's hand, so that is also, I think, a card out of the sideboard.
Yeah.
Might just like name Tinker or something. Ooh,
Mindstone.
this Sky Cloud Expanse is... It's just so nice when you need to cast a Meddling Mage.
This is like the best Sky Cloud Expanse deck ever built.
I mean,
you have so much colorless mana.
All right, we got Meddling Mage. What do you think he's naming? I think it's Tinker. All right, let's looks like what it is.
Mike, you were right. It is Tinker.
Yep. It's nice to be right sometimes, so I'll take them when I can
you're
get
right.
it. We got Jared saying $50 to charity if Caleb Teferi's response to support. So if you didn't already want to see that action, then I think everyone can collectively jump on board now.
Hopefully for the kids, we see a top deck coming up.
Ooh, Chad was saying that they thought that they saw Caleb draw it. This could be coming true.
I think it would have got played there. I think you might have saw
Might have been a frantic search.
It's kind of funny if he goes to tap his port and then Caleb frantic searches in response, and Teferi's response is the port that isn't even tapping anything anymore. Now, I guess that wouldn't work because you would let the tap resolve, right?
Yes.
You just flip them out.
All right, we got frantic search. We're just digging at this point. Sometimes it generates mana in Caleb's deck if you have the Tron online, but right now we're just digging.
It's like forbidden hand for him.
I need the name tag. I need to know who is it.
Hand is miscalc, disenchant, stroke, forbid, and plow. He's gonna discard the forbid and the plow.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know if I like the frantic searches in this deck. He was testing yesterday.
It's certainly cute, but
Yeah.
there's certain situations like the card disadvantage is a little bit awkward, but yeah.
Or a couple times he played it. I'm like, so your hand was great. I think you just milled yourself for 2.
And discard a card.
I got a carpool here. He lives in Australia.
All right, we're second Mind Stone from Blake's perspective at the end of the turn.
Alright, he's got a Crosis Catacombs. He's got a Stroke of Genius in his hand.
Yeah, not quite as impressive. I mean, actually, on this board state, it's more impressive. But I guess who is the better stroke deck? I mean, it's got to be Caleb, right?
It's probably Caleb.
But I would say Blake is not a bad stroke deck. Like
No, he plays one main deck.
with
That
all
was
the
no
Thran Dynamos and whatnot, you definitely can make a bunch of
I
mana.
think he got that tech from me. I'm gonna claim that one.
Is it-
This is something I was doing. I was playing Blue Red Tinker with Stroke Bid.
Oh, I thought that was somewhat stock. I'm not sure, but
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know the blue red lists that well enough
I don't
to say
either.
what the normal is. It is
right,
it is
Chad.
nice that that deck has a lot of flexibility that you can kind of tweak it to your metagame and play it to your style.
okay. Chat. Does Blue Red Tinker commonly play Stroke of Genius man? Speaking of Stroke Geniuses, we got one from Caleb here. Why is he keeping that egg? Married to that thing? Skycloud Expanse does look a lot like Flooded Strand.
Yes, I mean they're both. I think they're both Rob Alexander arts, right?
I think they are.
Yeah.
You're right.
Uh,
You should. That's gonna be my new go first thing. Find the Flooded Strand.
I just-
like,
or
or gonna
some-
flip up the Skycloud Expanse. Like, I got it. No, you didn't.
someone cracks a flooded strand, you gotta like look over the table, and be like, "Are you sure that's not a Skycloud Expanse thing?"
Right.
Okay, yeah, mine was spinning and then you did it.
All right. A prohibit on a defense grid from Caleb, and then Blake's gonna play a Karn.
All right.
He's gonna get disenchanted.
Poor Silver Golem. He's in the junkyard now.
So this game just kind of, neither player's mana working, and they're just kind of playing their regular old 1-for-1s against each other.
Well, one thing, I mean, like this meddling mage is doing a ton of work. First of all, it's preventing Tinker from being cast in.
Yes.
It's nice just to chip away at the life total. which we actually see a lot in pre-modern, that like meddling mage like comes down and then the game just goes on for forever, and a 2/2 just actually does some stuff.
Yeah. I think Blake has 2 Tinkers in his hand too.
Okay. Goblin Welder would be. This stays in play. Again, this is kind of a situation that like any artifact turns into a threat.
Sure. All right, so Caleb is gonna
Cycle a decree for 3
for
tokens.
3 at the end of turn.
Those don't.
He can use a colorless from one of them and turn on the other.
No, they don't make colorless mana.
They don't tap for mana at all.
No.
What did he?
What was he even casting? There's no Tangle Wire in play, right?
Yeah, what did he do with them?
Did he? I'm gonna go check.
I don't know what
I'll be
happened
right
there. Chad, thank you for having my back here. BK Tech.
They got Richard imported.
Oh, okay. Oh, that makes sense.
I'm very confused. Then I just went over there, like, yeah, imported.
You can't tap those.
Well, chat knows. Chat knows. We should probably just ask chat.
Port. Okay.
All right, we got Goblin Welder here. Are we swapping a Mox Diamond for a Mind Stone?
Mind Stone.
Okay, then we can
Gonna
cash
stack
in
the
for a
Mind
card.
Stone. Gonna get a Furnace. He's gonna play the Furnace. He's only at 7 life right now. Surprised he could just get the Karn for a blocker.
Well, I mean, the one thing it does is like it's like Karn doesn't eat Meddling Mage because like when it
Right,
blocks,
but it's still.
yeah. Yeah, I could see it, but
I mean, at 7 right now, if he takes this hit for 5, he can't. How is he gonna block the soldiers the next turn with his deck?
yeah, Karn might have been a play just to slow things down, and then all right. Now it looks like the blue mana is getting tapped because of Russian import. Oh no. Oh no, okay. So is that what's in Blake's hands? Does he have 3 Tinkers?
He has at least 2.
At least
He might
2.
have 3. Down to 2. You need a Crumbling Sanctuary to get out of this one.
I mean,
Like another land for Blake.
a red elemental blast to get rid of the meddling mage would be a start too. Though I guess you don't have any artifacts to start.
Right.
Yep, there were 3.
Blake foolishly taps his Ancient Tomb and kills himself. I left tap, and I'm a little upset from a Cali. I'm a left tapper. I don't know why I'm a left tapper, but it's just ergonomically better,
Okay.
I think. I tap with my right hand. It's awkward to tap clockwise.
I can kind of see that in a way, but I don't know. Like
Am I a monster? I'm a left tapper.
I guess you just have.
I'm shocked.
I don't know. When you say it, when you explain it, it kind of makes sense, but I don't know.
I never thought about the direction the tap symbol goes.
Oh, I mean, I definitely did.
I agree with, like, thematically, the tap symbol is pointing the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but also when I started playing, there was no tap symbol.
Yeah.
You just get spelled out, and we had to figure out which direction to tap it, Check an unlimited card sometime, kids. Or a revised. All it said was a T.
The pure chaos. I tap both ways. The question is, do you do like tap like half your lands one way and then the other in the same turn, or is it just like one turn you tap to the left, the other turn you tap to the right?
Okay, I want to tell you about some in a recent some recent materials we got from Wizards of the Coast. They suggested when teaching Magic to people that when a creature comes into play, it should be put into play upside down to denote that it has summoning sickness.
Is that like their?
They suggested that for teaching.
Oh.
What do you think about that?
I don't know. Like, I guess I don't know. My gut says it's not necessary, but I don't know. Maybe just I mean we've played the game long enough that like it's almost like instilled that like it's very easy for us to track and remember like what just came into play.
Yeah.
But I can understand that. I mean, I've done certain things like that when I play like a card like Exploration. If I've used it, I will turn it upside down. But
yeah, I mean it's a good I think it's a good memory tool. I think it could be. There's no reason not to do it, right? And then because a lot of people don't know how summoning, like, also it's hard to really explain how summoning, like, at first when you play, like, you don't think about all the interactions, like, if I put a creature into play on your turn,
Sure.
like, when does it lose summoning sickness, that kind of stuff. But it kind of adds the memory trigger of, like, untap, getting rid of it, you know? We should have we talked about the auctions at all yet?
no, we haven't. So
Just under 10 minutes left in the round.
yeah, so
The round.
I don't know if chat so one thing that we've done from the last Midwest Premodern Championship, it was a charity event.
Yeah.
And so Briarpatch is one of our local communities or services that we have, and again, that is who we're raising funds for. And one of the things that the way that chat, the viewers, someone who's not able to come to the tournament is able to get involved with the charity. Do you want to talk about what we have for them and like?
Yeah, we have a number of raffles. I think we should get a good video of them or something like that, so we can, or maybe we'll post them in the Facebook group at the very least, and on the Discord, just so that we can, you all can take part in this. It's really easy. You just PayPal a donation and tell us where to put your tickets, and we can put you in the drawings. I'll ship any of the winnings out to anybody. We got some personally modded cards by yours truly that say Midwest Championships on them, and a very special disenchant that my wife did of me, which is not the most flattering portrayal I've ever seen, but I love it.
Did you get to post for it like that?
Yeah, I did. I'm going to bring that one out right now,
Okay.
so we can put it on camera.
If anyone's confused on which Mercadian masks, it's a favorite of BK and mine. We like the Mercadian mask disenchant. It's like how can you not enjoy this art? So I will figure out a link of what we need for the donation. We'll get that up probably for round 2. So I will try and let everyone know how you can make a donation for the Briarpatch and for that raffle.
All right. So this could be yours. The story behind this is the first time I did a pre-modern stream with Mike, we started talking about the best disenchant, and we decided that we loved this guy.
What are you holding here?
It's kind of just to resemble the
original art.
thing
Okay.
blowing up
Okay.
in my hands. The first time I did a pre-modern stream with Mike, we talked about our favorite disenchant, and we both agreed we loved this goofy guy, like just like.
So yeah.
And so I asked her to make one of me. I should have had her make one of you too.
I wasn't there to pose, so
That's up. This one's going. I think we have at least 50 tickets already in for this thing. So
all right.
not to discourage people, but
people are excited.
it's bound to be a collector's item. I'm gonna stamp it too.
Yeah, so chat, I want to hear kind of what you're looking for in terms of us seeing. We'll kind of like do a scope and try and figure out kind of what people are playing. But if there's any particular decks that you want to see on stream today, or maybe particular players, you might be aware of some of the players that are at this tournament. Let us know. And
Like Francisco Pavlushik.
Yeah, he made it all the way from
I
California.
practiced his name all day yesterday. I just
said it.
kept asking Fran, like, is this right? I probably slowly get it right, but he kept correcting me. He says I'm like 85, 90% on it now.
Okay. Someone has voted not stasis, which, given our metagame, actually is pretty difficult because I feel like a lot of people have brought stasis to these tournaments. But
Yeah, it feels like there's just always lots of stasis, and it always does so well.
yeah, someone has suggested Robin Lund, so Robin finally has made his way up from Chicago to our store, so that might be something worth getting on camera. But
We, of course, you will see second last round. We are going to feature Aaron Dix playing to see if he can, make another 5-2 or not.
yeah, he's like, I'm always gone X2 here. I've never
X2,
broke through here. It's just this is the wall that he can't climb over. But yeah, I mean, none that he ever does poorly, but it's always just like forward two is done. So
Yeah, we got Sam Black here, Caleb, of course, Aaron Dix, Robin. Who else we get? Charles Engels came out.
yep. Yeah, we'll have
the player list.
a little more. Why don't we go to a break as we have a few things that we want to adjust. But I think, like you probably heard the judge in the back, we have less than 10 minutes in the round, so it won't be too long of a break. I'm going to try and adjust some things on my end, but we'll be back with more commentary for round 2. So sit tight, and hope you guys are enjoying the stream.
Hey, we're back. I'm here with some people from Briarpatch. I have Joe Pfeiffer and Dylan Kramer here. You're going to tell us about the charity we're doing the event for, and just explain that. So what is Briarpatch and youth services? What do you do for Dane County in Wisconsin?
Yeah, so Briarpatch Youth Services is an organization in Dane County. We serve Dane County, which is near Madison, Wisconsin. And in Madison, Wisconsin is in Dane County.
Enveloped it.
We got it. Our mission is to strengthen the lives of youth and families. My name is Jill Pfeiffer. I'm the executive director at Briarpatch Youth Services. We provide a multitude of services to youth and families. One of the most important services that we offer is that we have a shelter for unaccompanied youth ages 12 to 17 who for whatever reason don't feel safe at home or who have left home or who are experiencing homelessness. They can come and stay at Briarpatch, and we will help them find what's next. In addition to that, we have an employment program for young people ages 14 to 17, and we help connect them with jobs and job skills and job training so that they're doing something productive, staying out of trouble. We also have a support group called Teens Like Us for LGBTQ plus youth, and we host an annual Pride Prom here in Dane County. We just had it. There were about 300 youth there for Pride Prom. It was super fun, and I was really tired the next day. In addition to that, we work with youth who are court ordered to be with us, so we provide alternatives to youth going into the system, like restorative justice, which is when youth have a conversation about harms caused and healing and do more reflection so that we don't repeat patterns. So those are some of the things that we do. I'm also here with Dylan, who's worked there longer than I have and can talk a little bit more maybe about your role at the organization and also the impact of this event.
Yeah, so I was part of Briarpatch for 3 years. I started out in the shelters program that Joe was talking about. From there, I moved on to several different roles at our place, and now I work as a connections advocate. So that's part of how I got this involved, as well as I also work here at Misty Mountain Games, because BK's my boss and Jill's my boss, so you're with both my bosses today. And I work primarily in the schools to keep kids involved in school incentivized activities. I also help kids find housing and different resources for therapy. And that's kind of just a little bit about what I do as well. And I'm playing in the tournament today, too. I am playing Terravor. I won round 1.
Blowing up lands. It's good. So last time we raised $1,500? Yeah.
We raised $1,500, and that impacted 19 different families. And what that looks like, so Dane County does a Christmas program every year. It's called Toys for Tots, and they have another one. And we were able to actually hit these families that were unable to find transportation or find means to get there that day because they worked or had different things going on. Mm-hmm. So we were actually able to get them like coats, gloves, toys for like 5-year-olds all the way up to like 17-year-olds. There was one family in particular that was like in tears when I handed the mom like 4 really nice winter jackets.
Oh, wow.
So it was like really impactful for a lot of these families, especially these families that are experiencing homelessness, and like the money goes a long ways towards like really impacting the lives of the families here. So we appreciate the money and we appreciate the help.
That's awesome. And if people want to help the organization, what can they do? How can they help out?
So clearly money helps, but also like just spreading the news of what Briarpatch is. We have a lot of great employees there that can really have the means to help in the current state. So like if you know of a family that's struggling or they have like teenagers, especially that are struggling in the family household, like definitely send them to us and we'll be able to help them and kind of provide counseling and support to that family.
Awesome. And thanks for joining us. Anything you want to add? Or
Well, I see someone asked, is the organization named after the card? And I will say no. I don't know quite what the card means, but the answer is no. It's a 52-year-old organization, so it probably predates the card, even though there's been a few different organizations that have flowed into it. And the other thing I'll say is that our website is briarpatch.org. So you all know how to get to a website. Feel free to check it out, learn more about what we do, and spread the word about the good work of Briarpatch.
awesome. Well, we're super excited to help, and hopefully we raise way more money than last time and help out a lot of families around.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone.
Yes,
Thanks for
thank
being
you.
here.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
See me in top 8.